A New England Journal of Medicine study finds that 30% of heart attacks, strokes, and deaths from heart disease can be prevented in people at high risk if they would just switch to a Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is sort of the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of Niko Niko's restaurant in Houston, but the owner is now introducing new menu items that allow you to make even healthier choices. Natalie Bomke is showing us what you can now order and what else you need to include in your diet to reduce your risk. Natalie.
Good morning, Mike. I showed you before this little guy over here. He's the skinny fish cooked in the skinny version of the oil that you typically get here at Niko Niko's, and he's one of your biggest fans, Mike, by the way, as well. I want to introduce Dimitri. He's the owner of Niko Niko's. Good morning, Dimitri.
Good morning.
So you are working with registered dietitian Carol Laban, who is right here, and we all know the Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest that you can find, but Dimitri has changed some of his menu items to make it just a little bit healthier. What the Mediterranean diet doesn't include is information on sodium intake and calorie content, and so you have taken some of your menu items and you have been cognizant of that for the people that come in. So let's talk about this specific meal. You used to use like a thick, puffy...
A regular pita.
Right.
The regular pita. And with Carol's advice, we analyzed a bunch of our recipes, and she said this one's perfect as long as we change out the pita. So we started using as an option. You can still get it with the pita, or if you guys ask us for, we can do the flat out, which you can buy that at home too and do it yourself.
And this
with
is
other
under
different
200
fillings.
calories, I think she said.
Yes.
And then tell me about the skinny fish too, because I don't want to leave that. People might still have questions.
The lavraki comes from our island in Greece, in Chios Island, and the Italians call it bronzini. And we basically, if you ask us to do a little light, we'll just put a little bit of olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper, and that's it. So and a little bit light on the salt too.
Little light on the salt. So you're giving people options then, and you're going to put an insert in your menu. That is what's to come here at Niko Niko's, of those options that people have in order to make it just a little bit different to tweak their diet needs.
Right. We've always been able to tailor anything that we serve. But now we're going to give them
an insert to help them out. Perfect. Well, way to go. So we want to bring Carol in, the registered dietitian. And Carol, I want to talk about this new study that was just published in the New England Journal of Medicine about the Mediterranean diet. What did it find?
Well, I think a number of things. First of all, we've had studies in the past that certainly look promising for the Mediterranean diet, but to be able to take over 7,000 people over 4.5 years that are high risk for cardiovascular disease, put them on the Mediterranean diet versus people who just went on a low-fat diet, and see that their risk for dying or stroke was reduced 30% over those. It's significant.
And I want to go over some of the things that these people specifically on the diet ate, because I want you to be aware of that at home. Yeah. They had at least 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil a day.
Right, so that amounts to 2 cups.
2 cups a week of olive oil. That's a lot.
And actually, the diet, they had 2 Mediterranean diets. One, they actually gave them the olive oil. The other one, they emphasized the nuts.
Okay.
Although they had both.
So we also had on that diet at least 3 servings a day of fruits and 2 servings of vegetables a day. Fish 3 times a week.
Fish 3 times a week. The American Heart Association is recommending 2 servings a week. A serving would be 3.5 ounces, so they were heavier on the fish, pretty low on the red meat.
What about, we switched out the white meat for the red meat.
Right.
Of course, we added fish. Yeah. What about wine?
Yeah, so we're going to get excited, but let's not get excited with misinformation. So the wine it was mostly wine they drank, but it was optional. It was not, required. You had some habitual drinkers, and the habitual drinkers, they said, hey, have your wine, at least 7 glasses. You can have it with meals.
And there are some other restaurants that you're hoping to get on board, along with Dimitri's restaurant, Niko Niko's. Where can people find information on the offerings in the Houston area if they are on a special diet?
Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioning our Houston restaurants. There's some national websites you can go to, but we want to do something unique for Houston, like Niko Niko's is a unique restaurant. So if you go to HoustonRD.org, it stands for Right Dining. It also stands for Registered Dietitian. We have dietitians there that are blogging, can answer your questions. And then you can see some of Niko Niko's recipes on there. You can actually, not the recipes, but you will see the food facts label.
So you
and
see how many calories are in there, sodium,
Yeah.
all of that.
And then what we're wanting to do is get more restaurants on there so people can go and know what their options are if they want to be eating the way that we're talking
Wonderful.
about.
All right, Carol, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Again, that's HoustonRD.org. Dimitri, thank you so much. We appreciate your time this morning. We're going to enjoy some of the food behind us, and we'll send it back to you guys.